Here's another undesigned coincidence. In John's Gospel, chapter 12, verses 12 through 13, it mentions that Jesus came to the town of Bethany 6 days before the Passover during his final week. Meanwhile, in Mark's Gospel, Mark gives a day-by-day account of what they did each day during that week. Mark never says that Jesus arrived in the Bethany or Jerusalem area 6 days before the Passover, but we can match up the days that Mark describes until chapter 14, verse 1, when Mark says that it was 2 days before the Passover. This correspondence starts with assuming that in Mark 11, verse 1, Jesus had already arrived in Bethany the night before, and this verse in Mark was describing the next morning as Jesus was walking from Bethany and Bethphage over to Jerusalem. Here are the days shown in this table. There's a beautiful confirming coincidence that John's comment of 6 days exactly matches the timing of the days mentioned in Mark, including the part where Mark ties the events to 2 days before the Passover. This coincidence is undesigned because John does not seem to be particularly trying to show a close harmony with Mark, and even in John 18:28, he makes a comment about the Pharisees not wanting to be defiled before the Passover meal that has caused many people to claim that there's a contradiction between John and Mark. Of course, if that meal in John is the midday meal, then there's no contradiction. But the apparent contradiction shows that John was not trying to invent a close alignment with Mark. The details just happened to interlock as accurate eyewitness testimony does, forming this undesigned coincidence.